do you think about Joel's the game?
That's the MVP of the league right there. You know, fortunate enough that I couldn't help, but we just rallied. We found a way to win, and that's what the playoffs about. You know, I kept talking about it in the regular season. It might not be the prettiest game, you know, but we found ways defensively. I think we were really good down the stretch. Tobias, you know, had some really good defensive plays. We limited him to one shot. We gained rebound, and we gave ourselves a chance to win on the road. You know, that's all you can ask for.
What were you watching on that last play, like from your vantage point? Are you focusing on Joel and you know, like what? It was such a wild play, you know.
No, I mean Doc drew up a play. I mean we talk about execution. We talk about you know, the things that we can control and things in execution, especially down the stretch, and we go over things like that in practice and shoot around. So Doc drew up a play. I think Fred VanVleet was, you know, in the paint, and Tobias had a really good screen, and Joe came off, and, you know, he got a shot.
Can you talk about the collective fight that it took to force overtime in a game in which you guys never led up until overtime?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty, man. Like, we knew they were going to come out, you know, with the energy and intensity, and, you know, we were sustained it. Then they got us up down with 17 points, I think. But we just found a way to keep chipping away. Both ends of the ball. I think execution, you know, just making sure offensively our spacing is right. We got a good shot every single time because when we got a shot up, you know, we were shooting a pretty good percentage. And then, but they did a really good job of just being active and turning us over. So just we wanted to get a good shot up and not give them opportunities in transition, and then defensively just making sure we were on our spots and corralling, you know, Fred and Siakam.
Joel faced a lot of adversity just being in the room tonight. What he was able to do say about who he is as a player, as a person, as a teammate?
I mean, we've been watching, you know, his skill set all year long, and how great he's been. Tonight was no difference. You know, he made big plays, had some really good passes down the stretch. I think one to Danny. You know, so he did all the right things, and then when it was time for him to, you know, finish the game off, he did that.
Even to that point, though, he had a long first half. He only had like 5 points, but in the second half, obviously, he was able to kind of go off. What do you think the difference just was for him?
That's why we have a complete team. That's why you got guys that help each other, you know. We all want to play great every quarter, every possession, but it's not possible, you know. So he didn't have a great first half scoring-wise, but I think defensively he did some really good things. And then, you know, we just kept fighting, kept chipping away. That third quarter, we stepped it up. And then we gave ourselves a chance to win. Like, that's all you can ask for in the postseason, especially on the road. You give yourself a chance, one or two possessions, and you live with the results.
Well, he kept this team afloat during the first half. Was Toronto playing you differently defensively at all, or just?
No, I was just being aggressive. You know, whether it's scoring the basketball or making plays, finding guys. You know, so yeah, we're just happy we won, man. It wasn't pretty, but you can live with winning.
James,
James, you and Embiid are so lethal in the pick and roll. Specifically going up against Precious and OG when they're like switching on to either one of you. What's the main challenges in going up against those two?
Like size, you know, long defenders, very active defenders. So it's just a matter of, you know, who has it going. You know, whether it's me or Joe. You know, he rolls to the post. We give him the ball in the post. They double team, and we just make the plays after that. So it's just playing free, playing for each other, and I think we all got to sacrifice, and we've been doing a really good job of that. And that's why I think offensively we've been so solid.
James, with the lack of experience you guys have together as a group, you having just come here in February, I guess, where do you find the poise in those moments? Like, how do you come together and not let a game like that slip away?
I mean, for me, I just think I just try to communicate and help guys. Obviously, Tobias and Joe, and you know, and Danny has the experience. They've been in postseason runs and things like that. We're just trying to, you know, continue to help Tyrese, and for him, I think just playing, like using his speed and his freedom. I think that's what makes him great. And then just, you know, when it's time they go on runs, we buckle down and get a really good possession offensively. And then when it's time to get stops, you know, we see what they're running, and we go out there and try to be as physical as possible, be on the same page.
Kind
You
of go off of
referenced,
that, just you were able, or you mentioned not being able to obviously play in overtime. First of all, how frustrating was that? Second of all, how did you try to stay active as far as being in guys' ears, being, like I saw you clapping during a timeout, like being engaged, like just what did you try to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe my first time fouling out in the playoffs. So it was definitely frustrating. Like, I'm more valuable on the court. So, a couple questionable calls, but, that's beside the point. I think just trying to do whatever it takes. I think get outside of myself and be the biggest cheerleader, be the biggest helper I can. And then there's a point where it's like guys are in the game, so I don't want to, like, over-talk them and communicate. But just trying to help as much as I can. When I can, but other than that, just have faith and cheer the guys on.
You referenced Joel's offense in the final bucket. Pascal Siakam did not score in the second half, and I think most of the time Joel was on him. How significant was that? Yeah.
We like that matchup with Joe. Obviously he's much bigger, and then can contest his shots and contest his rim attempts. So obviously he can't do that for 48 minutes just because, Siakam has the ball, primarily throughout the course of the entire game. But as much as we can, especially down the stretch, we like that matchup. And, for us, it's just making sure we're on the same page and helping each other.
James, you
That's long, guys.
got to go up against OG in his rookie season, the year you won MVP. What have you made of his growth as a player, especially on the offensive end where he's dropping 20 games?
OG's gotten a lot better, man. I think offensively, just his ball handling and his shot. I mean, his shot making was great tonight. He kept them in the game. Coming into the game, coming into the NBA, I think he was just a defender, long, athletic, not really a great shooter. And as time, he put the work in, and he's definitely evolved his game.
Thanks.